Hey, what's up, team? Eddie Gray back in it again. We're talking about the best subject in the known world called Logic Pro. And I want to talk to you about some MIDI hacks. These are a couple of strategies, a couple tools that you can use in your arsenal. So let's get right into it. So in terms of viewing your MIDI events and MIDI regions, the best way to do it, I believe, is with something called View Note Labels. This is something you'll find in your piano roll, key command P. So let's say I'm trying to adjust the strings and I don't really understand music theory, or it's hard for me just to look at it on the screen. So if I just go to View Note Labels, now I get the actual information. You also get the velocity on the right hand side, which is pretty sweet. So on top of this, let's say we're putting together different parts. For example, here I've got the strings and I also have some taiko drums over here, and I'm holding shift to create various selections in the tracks area. And then let's say I want to adjust my flute piccolo, I'm holding shift, and my zither or Celtic harp here, I'm going to hold shift. Well, right now, my piano roll just looks like a bunch of notes, right? I can't really distinguish what is what. So if you then go into View in the piano roll, it's called the local menu bar, and you come on down to Set Note Color, and we don't distinguish this by the velocity, but by the region color. Now we can distinguish, oh, this is the Celtic harp in blue because that's the color of the MIDI region. The drums are in red, the strings are in yellow, and now we have a better sense of what's on the screen. Let's say you're working on some polyphony or, a cross exchange between melodies or something, whatever the case may be. This could be a great way of actually looking at the screen. Now, another tip. Let's say you're editing something, and when you're moving the MIDI around, you don't want to hear all that riffraff. Right here on the left-hand side, there's a green button. It's called MIDI out. And if I turn that off, what happens is every single time I'm adjusting, now we no longer hear all that noise. So that can be really helpful. Let's say you're working in a session and someone's talking. You don't want to interrupt them, but you're trying to make a change, right? Let's say you're in a webinar. It's just good etiquette just to not kind of interrupt the flow of things, especially if you're a producer and you have a client alongside you just chatting it up. Like, it's probably a good idea to hold off on that. All right. What else I got for you? Well, we know that we can do automation in the tracks area. This is simple information. If we go into the automation menu, we can see that we have our smart controls available, volume, main. Inside of the main menu, we can find pan, solo, mute. If you go into the piano roll, you actually get more MIDI data. So there's more information here. So let's go ahead and click on the zither here. So then now I'm clicking on the piano roll. So key focus is surrounded and encompasses this area. And then I'll resize the piano roll and I'll hit the key command A. And so then now we have our own automation inside of the piano roll. Now, I want to make something clear. If you're inside of the track automation, you're not going to get this feature. You have to be in region automation. And now we get MIDI CC that is unique to this window. What exactly am I talking about? Things like modulation, right? You can go ahead and express yourself here in a very creative, hands-on way. Expression, which is only pertinent to certain instruments, so check that out. Sustain, if you're trying to pull off any kind of authentic performance, especially with orchestral, but really with any kind of instrument, then you're going to need to know how to control sustain. And we have things like pitch bend, aftertouch, no velocity. And this menu will become a lot deeper, especially as MIDI 2.0 is implemented in the near future. And before I go here, I got one more for you. So here, take a listen to this part right here. So you can see that towards the end of this passage, I'm going up in velocity. Probably one of the worst things that you can do is have the same velocity over and over again for a part. So it kind of sounds like a machine gun playing out this sample. Listen. So what I recommend is inside of the automation window in the piano roll, what you do is you click horizontally and diagonally up, and you're going to want to do this with the pencil tool. So I'm going to go ahead and select that for my cursor tools in the piano roll, and I'm just going to click, drag, and I'm holding up diagonally, right? And so then now I get to make a selection in real time in a very, very quick and super fast way. So take a listen to this. So you can see how that lends itself well to adding dynamics and that little bit of magic in your music productions. Hope you enjoy the content. Look, if you're loving what we do here, you know what I'm about to ask you to do. Go ahead and like the content. It'll really help us out with the YouTube algorithm. And look, I really appreciate you guys. The channel's doing very well, and I have you to thank. So thank you very much. I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you soon. Keep your frequency high. See you later.